All right. Good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Scott over at Terrago. Thanks for joining. I am going to go ahead and just give you a couple of PowerPoint slides, and then we're just going to jump real quick into a demonstration. I'm going to pause my video just for comms sake, and we'll go ahead and get started. Again, I'm Scott Lee. On the other end, across the other side of the country, I'm located in Atlanta. Madison Basil is has set up a recording for this, so you'll be able to go ahead and share that recording following the presentation. At the bottom of your screen or wherever your Zoom box is, there is a chat pod. If you have any questions at all, please let us know in that chat pod, and we'll try to get those answered. We're going to try to keep this short. We've been messing around with times and dates, but it seems like 12 o'clock might be okay on a Friday afternoon. But if you can recommend any other times or something that might be better for your organization, please let me know or let us know. Again, I'm Scott, and I manage the GeoPDF side of our business here at Terrago. We recently attended the GXP360 event out in La Jolla, and very well attended, close to 400 people, I believe, out in California for the event, where Terrago and several other organizations were represented. So first of all, I just wanted to do a value add slide just to tell you why we have so many customers in our breadth of software, what the real value add is to an organization. A lot of our customers do not have ideal comms and pretty much in a low bandwidth situation. So Terrago, with the invention of GeoPDF, is able to do some really good compression with this traditional big data. Generally speaking, we can get roughly a 30-to-1 compression from your geotip imagery, and which makes it a lot easier to deliver that type of content. From the GXP ecosystem, you can create 2D and 3D GeoPDF products. We're going to show the 2D products today, and I'm going to give you an example of what a 3D GeoPDF looks like. Out of the GIS environment, we don't work just out of the GXP environment. That's what we're going to be discussing today. But you can create layered geospatial products. One of our customers in the Army has actually identified the end users of the GeoPDF products. They're not always geospatially savvy, but they do know that geospatial is important. So that's the reason there's so much value in embedding the geospatial information inside of a PDF. And he likes to term those people the geosuspicious. So I have taken that from Lieutenant Colonel Brian Dodd and asked, and he has agreed to let me use that term. A lot of times when we're creating products, we're not just sharing those products domestically. We are sharing this information with international partners, coalition partners, and they don't want to just see longitude and latitude or a military grid reference system. They want to work in their own coordinate system. And so we're able to change that coordinate display to over 3,200 different reference systems. To view the GeoPDF, it leverages software that is 99.9% of PCs already have Adobe Reader, the free Adobe Reader. So if you do have the paid-for Adobe Acrobat tool, our GeoPDF toolbar works inside of both of those. And what does that GeoPDF toolbar do? It actually delivers some basic geospatial capabilities like that I'll demonstrate in just a few minutes. But that GeoPDF toolbar is free to everyone in the world. Anyone that has Adobe Reader can install this GeoPDF toolbar and perform a litany of basic functions. Terrago is not a GIS company. We're not a remote sensing company. We're a geospatial collaboration company. So being able to share information back and forth kind of think of it as almost a geospatial SharePoint, if you will. It's a platform for somebody to be able to do something else with the data that you have created and actually collaborate back and forth with you so that you can make updates to your GXP enterprise, load data up back inside of Explorer, and create new products. Attribute that data as you choose, and then add that content back into your portal so that you can actually create a more accurate product and then post that back out to the general public. What this does with those basic geospatial principles is also mitigates a lot of the requests that can come from the field. Some people don't understand the scalable, and some people don't understand maybe something else that might be in your product, in your end product. But they can take measurements directly on it. They can add their own information directly on the file stuff. So I'm going to jump to the next slide here. A lot of our customers are in the intelligence and defense community. So just a footprint for our federal customers or DoD and intelligence customers. We have come to the realization that there have been over 10 million GeoPDF products that have been created. A lot of these are created by geospatial analysts, but a lot of them are also created by imagery analysts. And that all goes to our relationship with BAE Systems and the GXP team. Multiple partners, a lot of different federal agencies, and a lot of system integrators in that space as well. Our toolbar footprint, I spoke about that plugin, that GeoPDF toolbar that plugs into the Adobe Reader or the Adobe Acrobat platform. It has been distributed, that toolbar has been distributed to over 3 million end users. So this is inside of the federal government, but inside of your organization, all anyone has to do is go to our website and at terragotech.com, and there is a products tab at the top, and I can show you that as well on how to pull that down. And it just run the installer. We ask for your contact information because we always do updates to this application. And so we can inform you of when there is a new release. Organizations have pushed that toolbar across their enterprise, and a lot of times they don't want free software installed on their enterprise network. So we do have a support and maintenance agreement that we can engage you with if you want to push that toolbar across your enterprise. We do have online training that's available ad hoc for your group or your organization. We do have YouTube channels, and there are also several videos on our website as well. To understand who is using the technology, this is a vertical customer base. We have two different groups inside of TerraGo. We do a lot of work in the IoT space, specifically for smart cities and utilities, where we deliver a mobile application to help with managing IoT devices. And if you're interested in that, please reach out to us as well. We're happy to give you some more information on that. On the GeoPDF side, these are just some samples of our vertical customer base. We also work a lot of times in the utility space on this side as well. The lion's share of our customers are in the defense and intelligence and public safety, I would say. Here are the functionalities of some of the functionalities of the GeoPDF toolbar. And obviously this will be recorded, so you can go through this as well. I'm going to try to be cognizant of everyone's time. So what I'd like to do is just go ahead and jump right into a demonstration so you can see what we do out of the GXP platform. So I'm going to go ahead. This is Socket GXP, and what I've done is opened an image inside of a multi-port and gone through and changed a little bit of the information inside of this. You can go ahead and add your own annotations. I was just on the phone with the customer technical support team at BAE Systems, and a fantastic group of people, by the way. So if you are or are not a customer for BAE systems and the GXP platform, I highly encourage you to reach out to those folks, and we can get you specific points of contact to help with any questions that you might have. But as you open up an image inside of a multi-port, obviously you can zoom around. It is geared specifically for the imagery analysis and photogrammetry community. As a former imagery analyst in the United States Navy, this is the premier imagery exploitation platform that is available globally. There are so many tools and so many capabilities for analyzing your satellite imagery, aerial photography, full motion video, drone data, etc. So underneath the products tab is where the TerraGo plugin resides. This technology is already embedded inside of the software tool, so you do not have to install any new software. The software comes already installed and packaged with GXP. It's just a simple licensing event to have this capability. So here I have my data all framed up, and under the products tab, after I've applied a template, applied a little bit of annotation. This is the newest clear-cut area, southwest of Richmond, Virginia. It's just a standard image. Obviously, you can add more annotations. You could even go to the point of adding your elevation data underneath, so that you can have a 3D representation of this content. Any 3D features that you have extracted or any feature extraction that you have done, you can add to this multi-port. And then simply, we've made it as simple as possible. So here I just selected the GeoPDF button, and it's going to ask me to save that chip to GeoPDF. So I'm going to actually save this as the demonstration 2. That's the first one was my sample. And I always put an _geo on the back end so that I know that these PDFs are GeoPDFs. I'm going to select save, and it absolutely takes no time to go ahead and frame that data all up and make it available in the free Adobe Reader or inside of the paid for Adobe Acrobat product. So now it's spooling up, and my file is complete. You'll notice the file size here. We're rough. Again, I said with a GeoTIFF, we get roughly a 30:1 compression ratio, and that is, you can control that if you choose to do so. So now it automatically launched that GeoPDF file inside of my Adobe product. You'll notice at the bottom right-hand corner, there's longitude and latitude display, a dynamic longitude and latitude display, and a military grid reference system, which was requested by our federal government customers to display that by default. To install the GeoPDF toolbar, I'm going to take you directly to our website here and show you where that is available. Underneath the products tab, you'll see that there is a GeoPDF and an IoT page. We're speaking directly about the GeoPDF page. Go to the toolbar, select the toolbar, and there's a free download. So if you select free download, I'll show you the complete process. And because we do have a 32-bit and a 64-bit version, and I want to make sure that you download the appropriate version. I'm on a 64-bit, so it'll just launch the download and I install. So when you install that, you'll get GeoPDF options in a couple of different places. You'll get it at the top of the menu. So there are 2 items that come with the GeoPDF toolbar: the GeoPDF toolbar itself and the GeoMark toolbar. They both have different capabilities. You can also add it to the right panel here by selecting more tools and then scrolling down to the bottom and just hit add those items to that. Instead of open, it will have an add button. So just go ahead and hit add, and it'll make those things available. on the right-hand side. Just more than one way to skin a cat. So when you select the GeoPDF toolbar, you'll get those options across the top. There are several capabilities. You notice everything is dynamic here on the coordinate display. If you select the GeoTool function, it'll let you select a point on the page, and then it'll freeze those coordinates. A lot of times in this use case, someone needs to send a coordinate system back over the phone, or send a specific coordinate back over the phone. So you can actually freeze that coordinate information. If you choose to use a different projection or a coordinate reference system, you'll see here that there's a set projection parameters, and it'll give you all of the different 3,275 different reference systems. So you can choose whichever reference system you would like to display. You can also navigate to a specific location by inputting the longitude and latitude or a coordinate directly there and hit go, and it will take you directly to that coordinate location. Again, what we're doing is we're delivering these basic geospatial principles to people who don't traditionally have access to Socket, maybe not to WebView or to any other part of the GXP ecosystem. Likewise, they may not have access to a GIS. So we want to just impart some basic geospatial principles. Again, we're not a GIS or a remote sensing company. We're a geospatial collaboration company, and we want to be able to spread the goodness, if you will, across the greater good. There is an identify tool here, which if you had attribute information associated to data coming out of your GIS, out of the GIS itself, you can click on an individual feature and it will deliver those attributes. And we'll talk about that in the next webcast that we're hosting in about 6 weeks, I believe, to interrogate individual attributes. We are currently in discussions with BAE Systems right now and that GXP team about adding that geopackage capability into the GXP ecosystem so that TerraGo can interrogate those types of things. I also said you could measure. Again, those basic principles. I can measure individual lengths. So if I wanted to check, this looks like a stream here. See how long that river segment or stream segment is. And again, multiple vertices. And I can actually cut that to a geomark, which means I want that linear measurement to be exportable as a KML or a shapefile. So I'm going to convert that to a geomark. And you see that the color changed to red. I'm also going to measure a area. So let's see how big this clear cut is roughly. Just do a rough digitization. So 36.5 hectares, and I'm going to cut that to a geomark as well. I can also, the newest capability is being able to measure a circular area. So let's say I wanted to draw a fixed radius of, let's say, a 1/4 mile. And then all I have to do simply is just click one time and it draws that circle for me. Okay, so I'm going to cut that to a geomark as well. So you notice I haven't saved anything to this point. What I want to do, there is a GeoTrack function as well. So if you have a Bluetooth GPS device, you can connect directly to that, or you can use your Windows 10 services, the location services on a Windows 10 laptop, and it'll plot your location directly on the GeoPDF as well. So the next function is the GeoMark toolbar. I told you there were 2 toolbars that were installed. So now I have markup tools available directly to me, not just measurement tools, but now I want to add specific information. And I can digitize a rectangle, for example, if I had a question about this specific area. Let me turn my filters off. Double click on this feature and ask if is this a possible clear cutting. There is geometry associated to those 4 points as well, so you see the geospatial information that's being added. So I have a linear feature, a couple of polygon features, and now I just want to add a point feature. So I can say I want to identify a bridge in a certain area. So I can go ahead and drop a bridge point feature directly here. And I don't know if there is a bridge there. So under the general tab, I can ask, is there a bridge located? Hit apply and OK. So now I have been able to generate all kinds of information very simply with free tools in a free Adobe Reader environment. And I want to share this information back with the analyst, with the imagery analyst that I received this data from. So I'm going to go to collaboration and export the geomarks. And again, I could save that as a KML or as a shapefile. And you notice I didn't have to identify a PRJ file, a DBF file, all of these file types that are unknown to the general population. And what we like to do is go to the lowest common denominator. So with the invention and delivery of Google Earth, obviously this has opened up geospatial to a whole new community of users. And everyone is a quasi imagery analyst because you've gone to Google Earth and found your home, right? And looked at your neighborhood. So here I'm going to call this GXP demo. You see, I've already have a few of these, but I'm saving this as a KML file. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to be prompted to what information I want to export, and I'm going to export all of the geomarks and select OK. So now on my desktop, here is my GXP demonstration, KML. And all of this information that I collected, again, people are often in a bandwidth constrained environment, and they want to be able to share information back and forth. So now this file is only 22 kilobytes, and these are my new annotations or my observations. I can either save the whole PDF and email it back to the imagery analyst for them to do this process, or I can just scrape those annotations off and save it as a KML, and that KML can easily be ingested into the GXP ecosystem as well, if it's directly into a multiport or if it's going to be into Explorer or whatever the case may be. So now I am zooming in directly to those annotations. Let's see if I can get anywhere up here. So now here is all of the information that I added directly to that GeoPDF. Now I did add some attribute information as well. So this is a polygon. This was, let's see if I added information here. I think I added to a couple. Is this a possible clear cut area, for example? So it's all about being able to get data from GXP. I'm familiar with GXP and with Explorer and with their full motion their full motion video tool, but I am by no means an expert with that tool set, but you probably are. So you have an easy way to actually get data out of that ecosystem, share it to the non-geospatial savvy person, have them be able to do something valuable with that data, and then receive their information back into your enterprise. It's a very, very simple and elegant geospatial collaboration tool. And with that, I wanted to keep it short and sweet for your Friday afternoon. I see I do have It's a question. It's noticed that it's Windows only. Why not for Apple or Linux? The majority of our users are on a Windows box. So we do work strictly in the Windows environment at this time. We did make the transition to 64-bit a couple of years ago. So we are in the process and in discussions internally about making a version available for iOS. We do have a GeoPDF mobile application that is available on the App Store, and I haven't used that. I'm an Android person myself, but you're able to open up a GeoPDF on a mobile device. You do not have all of the capabilities that are available inside of the GeoPDF toolbar and the GeoMark toolbar, but there are some capabilities that are there. And if you would like to discuss that offline, or those capabilities, I'm sure we can pull together a one-on-one session directly. Feel free to send me an email or give me a call. This is my mobile or a text, and I'll be happy to work with you on that. With that, we've run right up against 30 minutes, so I'm going to let you have the rest of your afternoon back unless there are any other questions. Please feel free to reach out to us, either at my email address. I'll make sure that we get back in touch with you as soon as possible. And if you are interested in getting your hands on a license for the plugin to GXP, Socket GXP, we'll be happy to help facilitate that as well and see if we can get a demonstration version available for you. I wanted to give you just a quick demonstration of one of the 3D products that are available as well. Just to let you see the other capabilities that are inherent to Socket GXP. So I'm going to close this guy out. And then now, instead of just X and Y, you also have access to your Z values. You notice in the bottom right-hand corner. So this is it's an interactive tool set that will let an end user actually visualize the litany of elevation content that you already have. These types of products can also include your 3D buildings. This is actually a point cloud that was processed just as a .las, and then we overlaid an image directly on top of it and pushed the 3D GeoPDF button under the products tab. And if you would like some more information on that, please let me know, and would be happy to get another one-on-one session set up with you in your organization. All right, thank you for joining us on a Friday afternoon, 12:30. So I will let you have the rest of your afternoon, and have a good weekend. Thanks for attending, and we'll send out a recording of the session. Thank you very much.